In this video, I'm gonna give you some of my hot takes, and I actually have quite a few of them. Now, you don't have to agree, that is totally okay, but they are mine. And I feel like some of you might secretly agree too. Hey friend, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz, and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self, live their best life. So if that's something you wanna do, you should subscribe and stick around. But in case you want more from me besides just my YouTube videos, you can always check out my deep dive feminine energy course or my YouTube growth masterclass or any of my other digital products like my best-selling Notion templates. They are always linked down below. So I'm gonna dive right into it, but I just want to say up front, feel free to share your opinions in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. However, let's just make sure that we are all respectful. Like sometimes people can have differing opinions and it's not that big of a deal. So now with that said, let's get into it. So I'm just gonna rapid fire here, but first, intermittent fasting is not that great for women. It is definitely not a one size fits all health hack. And if you actually look at the research, most of the research that's done on intermittent fasting is done on men. I believe that in order for a woman's body to be at her healthiest, then her body needs to feel safe. And if we're constantly putting ourselves in that restricted state and that almost like famine state, that doesn't signal to our body safety. There's a book out there called Fast Like a Girl, and she basically says that, she says a lot of things, but basically to sum it up, her most important point is that if you want to do intermittent fasting, it's best to just stick to that during the follicular phase in your cycle, which I totally agree with. And so when I'm saying that intermittent fasting isn't great for women, I'm not talking about, like 12 hours overnight. That's honestly pretty common. That's probably what I do most nights, but I'm talking about, not eating any food until 1 or 2 p.m. I think we need breakfast. Number 2, I only think that you need to wash your face once a day. I don't think that you need to wash your face in the morning. I think obviously wash your face at night after because you're wearing makeup and you're out and about all day. Wash your face at night. But I don't think we need to get up in the morning and wash our face again with cleanser. I think that our skin knows what it's doing, and overnight it's doing a lot of healing work and it's producing a lot of healthy oils on our skin. And I think that if we overwash our face, it can then ruin our skin barrier and cause problems. So I only think you need to wash your face at night. Number 3, I think that first date coffee dates are totally fine. I know that there was kind of like a big debate about this, but I really think that they are fine because here's the thing. The modern first date isn't a date, it's a vibe check, right? Like you guys are seeing if you guys even wanna potentially consider something and go out again, right? Most of the time in the modern world, people are connecting through dating apps, right? And so people don't know each other. So that first coffee date, it's not really a date. It's a vibe check. The first real date is the second one. However, if it does go to a second date, that's where there needs to be like some real effort put in, right? Like book the reservation, plan something. Number 4, if you are always thinking about what other people are thinking about you, it's because you are thinking too much about them. Let me explain this. So what I mean is that the people who are more likely to judge other people in their heads are more likely to feel like other people are judging them. Life's a mirror, right? So if you want to stop caring so much about what other people think, first look inward and look at how you're viewing others. Are you constantly monitoring others and seeing what's going on in their lives? Are you subtly judging others for the things that they do? Because those are the people that are most concerned about what other people think. Number 5, modern medicine isn't built for wellness, it's built for emergencies. Like the modern Western medical system, it is amazing for life-saving care, right? For surgeries or all those types of things that you need. And it's incredible the things that we can do now. But if you want true optimal wellness, not just survival, but if you want true wellness, then I think the better direction is to look into more like lifestyle changes and Eastern medicine practices and like the ancient ways that we used to do things. What I'm saying is that modern Western medicine is amazing for survival, but Eastern natural medicine is amazing for thriving. And I think that it's important to be able to mix these two together. Number 6, I think that almost every joke has a hint of truth. So if someone makes a jokey dig at you, oftentimes it is their deeper underlying truth coming out. Number 7, I think that most people actually look their best with their natural hair color or something very close to it. Now, maybe there are like a few exceptions here and there, but I think for most people, this is the case. And I think that it's because it just naturally goes together with our skin tone and our features and our eye color. And I really think that our natural hair color is what makes us glow the most. Number 8, you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day to be successful. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Now, obviously, some people don't have a choice when they wake up, and I get that. But let's just say that you have total free will and you get to do whatever you want. It doesn't matter whether you wake up at 5 a.m. or 10 a.m. If you love waking up at 5 a.m. and being up for the sunrise and that makes you feel incredible, then do it. But don't do it because that's what you think it means to be productive. Number 9, in school, I don't think grades are very important. Now, obviously, there is an exception to this. If, let's say, you are in college and you want to go to law school or med school, then yeah, they matter. But in the real world, no one cares what grade you got in chemistry class. And after you graduate, it'll basically never be brought up again and nobody will care. Going to school, in my opinion, is not so that you can recite a bunch of interesting historical facts. Going to school is to learn how to learn. It's to learn how to balance multiple things. It's to learn how to balance priorities. It's to learn how to think critically. It's to learn how to manage your time. That's why it matters. That's why you need to apply yourself and try, not because of just your GPA. Okay, no one has ever asked me about my grades in real life. And the reason why I bring this up is because if you are younger and in school, absolutely try hard, but do not stress, okay? If you get one bad grade, even though you worked really hard, you're gonna be okay. Number 10, sometimes our boundaries are just how we avoid problems that we don't want to face. Sometimes boundaries are healthy and sometimes boundaries are needed, but also sometimes people use boundaries to avoid discomfort or to avoid vulnerability. They can be a wonderful tool and a part of a healthy relationship, but boundaries can also become emotional avoidance if we're not careful. Number 11, I think that looking good gets you farther in life. For everyone, men included, but probably especially for women. I don't think that prioritizing your beauty or prioritizing your grooming is superficial by any means, especially if it makes you feel good and it makes you feel confident. But this is something important to keep in mind. Your looks, they may open the doors for you, but they will never keep you in the room. Number 12, I think that therapy can be amazing and so helpful. And I think it can also keep people stuck. It just depends on how you use it, right? Like talking through something with someone that you trust can absolutely be a part of the healing process. But if you are just talking about the same problem over and over and over again, for months, for years, all that you're doing is causing yourself to be stuck in the same place. Sometimes the best way to heal and move on from our problems is to talk about them, digest them, and get them out, and get feedback from someone who knows what they're talking about. And also, sometimes the best way to move on is to literally move on. Like be done speaking it into existence and go do something else. Number 13, you can't have it all. At least not all at the same time. I think that this belief that we can have it all is actually something that ends up burning us out and making us feel bad about ourselves because we never feel like we have it all. And the truth is that the pursuit of having it all just ends up leading to mediocrity in all areas of your life. There's gonna be times where you need to be more focused on your business. There's gonna be more times where you need to be more focused on motherhood. There's gonna be times where you need to be more focused on school, or maybe even your family or your friendships. And when you put that energy and that attention on those things, the other things in your life will naturally get less energy and less attention. And that's okay. Not everything needs to be 100% at all times. Number 14, if your man is not healthily obsessed with you, then he's not the one. And that's all I have to say for that. Number 15, I believe that a man's journey is learning how to take on responsibility. I believe that a woman's journey is learning how to let go and embrace pleasure. Number 16, I believe that women are innately self-sacrificial and men need to learn self-sacrifice. And let me explain what I mean. As women, we have the ability to create life, which is absolutely beautiful. It's crazy that we can do that, but we also know that that comes with a lot of sacrifice. Obviously, like pregnancy and birth and that like postpartum period, obviously like that is a huge sacrifice, but I'm not even just talking about that. I'm talking about for us to be able to create life. From the time we are a teenager to like in our 50s, let's say, we have a menstrual cycle. And just so we can possibly, maybe have a kid one day, we experience our menstrual cycle and our period for that long amount of time. And I think our periods are a beautiful thing, but we can all agree that there is a certain amount of sacrifice that we experience in our life because we have that. Being the bearer of children comes innate sacrifice. It's not even something that we can choose, it's just in our body. Whereas with men, it's a choice. And that's what I mean. we naturally have to take on that self-sacrifice once we enter, you know, like puberty and adulthood. But men have to choose to take it on. And I do think that most men won't reach true fulfillment until they do take on some of that sacrifice. Number 17, so much of feminine empowerment these days is just teaching women to live like men, right? Like if you actually think about it, that's what it's been. It's women learning to live like a man. And I think women should live however they want to. But there's been kind of this underlying rhetoric basically saying like, yes, men and women are equal, but only when women start acting more like men. Men and women are equal in value, but they are not identical. And we are not meant to be identical. And with that said, number 18, biology still matters. No amount of social change will erase the impact of hormonal and physical differences between men and women. Now, I'm not telling people how to live their life. I'm just saying that those differences will always be there. Number 19, feminine energy can absolutely help attract a man, but if you can't channel that energy for yourself, it'll always feel fake and it'll always feel like a performance. And what I mean is that so many women try to tap into their feminine energy for dating and for love and to get a relationship. And I understand that because love is important, but I think there are some women who are coming at it with the wrong energy. They are trying to use feminine energy just to get a certain result that they want. And because of that, they never truly learn how to tap into their feminine energy for themselves as their own woman. And because of that, it will always feel fake. If you learn how to be in your feminine energy, like as your own woman outside of your relationship, then tapping into your feminine energy for love and for romance and for dating and attraction is gonna be so much easier. It's gonna be so much more natural and it's gonna be so much more effective. Number 20, love is conditional. Relationships are conditional. Unconditional love is only reserved for children, but all adult relationships have conditional love. And that's just the truth. You know, if my husband went and just like cheated on me with all these people, sure, I'd probably still love him for a bit because you can't just like, you know, tear that apart. But I wouldn't give him love because love is conditional. Relationships, as an adult, are conditional. They are based off of mutual benefit and effort and alignment. Number 21, I think that some people shouldn't have kids. I think that raising children is a really, really, really big responsibility. And not everyone is emotionally or mentally or financially equipped to do it well. I think that when it comes to children, you can't be selfish and saying, oh, I want a child, or I want a mini me, or I want a little baby. When it comes to children, it's not just about you anymore, it's also about them. And I think that raising children is a massive responsibility and not a lifestyle accessory. Number 22 is not a hot take. I think that most people would agree with me on this one, but in the US at least, maternity leave is a joke. All right, I want you to think about this. In the US, puppies are not legally allowed to be separated from their mother until they are 8 weeks old. But 1 in 4 American mothers returns to work within 2 weeks of giving birth. I think that there would be a lot less postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety if we had better maternal care and for like care after giving birth, not just a better maternity leave policy, but also just like more nourishment and support for the mother. And I think the reason why that postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety is so common is not just because there are like big hormonal shifts that you're having, but also I think it's just a reflection of how poor our maternal care is and how much we no longer value mothers. Number 23, I think that women mostly want hypergamy, and that's okay. And basically hypergamy is like where you date up or marry up. And I think that that is natural because think about it. The feminine in her partner, the feminine is looking for safety. That is what the feminine energy wants in a relationship. They're looking for safety. The masculine energy in a relationship is not looking for safety. They don't care about that. But the woman is looking for safety. And therefore, in our society, in our modern world, what sort of things signal safety? If he has good money, if he has a good job, if he's a respected member of society. Dating up is a way that we create safety for ourselves, and it's totally natural. And lastly, number 24, I think this is probably the most important one. Sometimes you don't need more healing. Sometimes you just need to live your life. And what I mean by that is sometimes the most powerful and important healing happens in the background while you're laughing, while you're falling in love, while you're living your life. And I think sometimes we can get stuck in this cycle of constantly trying to fix things about ourselves and heal things. But what if you just decided that you're not broken? What if you just decided that you don't need all these 10 million healing modalities? What if laughing with your friends is the healing that you need? What if laying at the beach is the healing that you need? What if not worrying so much about everything is the healing that you need? If you've had problems or issues or things in the past that you have had to heal and get past, it can be really easy to stay stuck in that healing mindset. But it's okay to let that be the past and to just live your life. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Whether you agree or disagree, doesn't matter, totally fine. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it at least somewhat insightful. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time in my next video. Bye.